Greetings, ghouls. Welcome to Deadsville Horror Talk. I'm your host, Ronin James, and to my left, the lovely Steph Infection.
Hey, Scream Hearts.
Tonight, we're going to be talking about the brand new arachno horror Cobweb. This is a 2023 American film. It is a horror thriller. It is directed by Samuel Bodine in his directorial debut. And we watched it this afternoon.
Yes, we did.
We had to drive to Cherry Hill because it's not playing in many theaters. But yeah, we drove over to Cherry Hill. We found a fat burger. Had our first fat burger experience.
Ever.
And
How was it?
It was fucking delicious. That was a delicious burger.
It was huge.
Yeah, it was a big burger. I went with the extra large, and it was fucking huge.
I did not, and I couldn't finish it, so.
Yeah, we had fat burger, and we went to the AMC at Cherry Hill, and we checked out Cobweb, and
It was weird seeing a horror film in daylight.
Yes.
We came back out, and I was like, whoa, it's still daylight.
yeah, we saw like a 4:30 show. Yeah, different. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, it gave us plenty of time to think about the movie and kind of think about what we were going to talk about tonight. So, so here we are. And before we get to this episode, we'll give you a little bit about us like we always do. I am veteran stuntman, stunt coordinator, now director and producer, Ronin James, a.k.a. Jay Green. If you want to check me out on IMDb, Jaegrene. You've seen me die before. You've seen me get shot, get my ass kicked, whatever. Double for some villains and all that fun stuff. You've seen me die in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I've doubled on Gotham, and I've been in The Tick and Punisher. I fought John Bernthal, and I fought Sylvester Stallone, and yeah, I've been around the block a few times.
The tick scene, isn't that when you're running through the field?
Yeah, I'm running through the field,
hit.
the tick throws the tire, bonk, and it takes me out as I'm doubling for Ramses the Fourth, which is a villain on The Tick. Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So yeah, that was me. And you see, if you look close enough, as he drags was it the executioner? It's dragging away the villain. You can see it's me and not the actor if you look close enough. Little tidbit there. But yeah, that's what I do, and I've been on lots of sets, obviously, and I went to school for directing. Fell into stunts, pun intended, and did that for 20 years. And now here I am directing productions, music videos, all that fun stuff. Along with my partner in crime,
Yes.
Miss Steph Infection.
Yes.
Who is a actress, producer, dance choreographer, horror host, and many other things here at Deadsville Productions.
Yes, I am.
What you doing these days, Steph Infection?
Whatever you ask me to. Pretty much.
Yes. Well,
No jokes.
right now we're bouncing comedy off Steph Infection. It's literally jokes because I'm prepping some comedy act.
Oh God. Oh God.
Bouncing my stand-up, my first 5-minute stand-up routine off of her, and she tells me I'm going to get canceled. So
Absolutely.
should be fun.
Yeah. Well, it was all fun, at least.
Till I open my mouth.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't already, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, all that call to action social media stuff. If you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure you follow us, and you can answer questions about the show and all that good stuff. You can watch the video on Spotify as well.
Yes.
But you can also watch us on YouTube. We have our video goes up every week on YouTube. You feel free to comment, questions, anything on there, and you can kind of see the shenanigans firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's more interesting to watch us or just listen to us be jackasses.
Like a second ago before we started, we were literally like elbowing each other.
Yep.
Too close to each other.
Yep. You're not in the center frame. Get in the center frame. Yeah, we're the worst. We're the fucking worst.
No, you are.
I'm the fucking worst.
That's right.
Yep. Along with the call to action, you can also email us at the mailbag. And that is
deadsvillehorrortalk@gmail.com. That's deadsvillehorrortalk@gmail.com. Subject, mailbag.
Mailbag.
Send us whatever you want to send.
Not your penis.
No.
I know. I say this every time, but not your penis. We'll send Jason to cut it off.
Yes.
All right. So let's get to it, Steph Infection. Do you have a synopsis for us?
I do.
Let's hear it.
All right. Horror strikes when an 8-year-old boy named Peter tries to investigate the mysterious knocking noises that are coming from inside the walls of his house and a dark secret that his sinister parents kept hidden from him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that, yeah.
It pretty much,
summation.
I know, wraps it up.
And we went into this one and I was like, yeah, it's a spider movie. Spiders, yeah, it's going to be spiders, arachnophobia spiders. And then we're watching the movie and Steph's like, I don't think it was spiders.
I didn't get that from the trailer.
I didn't watch the trailer. I try not to watch trailers. I try to
maybe. Yeah,
surprised, but yeah, like, hey, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, maybe there's not spiders. But then there was some spiders.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, there was some spiders. So, yeah, Cobweb was about spiders.
Yeah. There's also metaphors and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. So let's take a look at our crew. Our writer is Chris Thomas Devlin. And let's see, has Chris Thomas Devlin? Oh, he wrote Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 and The Wretched Emily Derringer.
What's it?
I've never heard of. Yeah, he's only written 2 things.
Yeah.
So now they're horror. How do these guys get these jobs?
I mean,
I have more experience than these guys. How do they get this? This isn't a bad script at all.
Do you have to, do you submit? Do you submit your stuff?
I just wonder. He must be part of the Writers Guild of America, I guess. But
yeah,
literally,
probably. Just start it.
He's written 2 things. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Cobweb. That's, wow. All right, well, hey, look. I'm not going to hate on him. However he got his job, whoever he brown-nosed, or whoever he jumped on the crewing couch with, I don't know. It's, it's not my place to say. He did a decent job. The script was pretty good. I felt like it was a very slow burn at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then there was like
got right into it, but it was...
I don't know if it got, it got into the story, but there was nothing really it was very what the fuck is going on and taking its time to get there for the first half.
Yeah.
At a certain point,
it got creepy.
It flipped and it was creepy and it got progressively creepy.
And then it got
very
weird
slow
again.
to get it. And then it got to a point where it just kind of went off and I was like, yes, there we go.
Yeah, that too. But yeah. I don't even know. It's kind of odd.
Well, I thought, and again, there were. I probably just hit my mic. Sorry about that. There were some questionable character decisions with the writing. We could talk about once we get into the spoilers. The writing wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I mean, there was a good
different take.
Yeah, there was a good setup, and you kind of dug and found out the trivia that this was based on.
It's loosely based on
inspired by.
Yeah, that's the key word, right? Yeah. Inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's what's it? A Telltale Heart.
Telltale Heart.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and once we get into spoilers, we probably we'll talk about why, but
it's not exactly.
It's not exactly
at all.
I could see how the original story kind of inspired them to go with this different route with it, which was okay. I get that, but I don't know.
It's not like that. So if you think that we're spoiling, it's literally not like that storyline.
It's not like that at all. We've already talked about the secret and the knocking noises in the walls, and that's about the extent of the influence of it.
Yeah, I guess.
That's it. That's pretty much it, because there's a knocking in the walls, and it's not like the Telltale Heart ending or anything like that at all. So
not even.
Yeah. So, but yes, I mean, Chris Thomas Devlin, you did okay. The pacing could have been a little better. That could have been direction too. But I just feel like the first half was very slow burn, and then the second half, and I didn't hate it, but it did have me just a little frustrated with, come on, where are we going? Let's go. Let's get there. A little bit there.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times when I was just like, okay, come on. And then there was a couple of times when there was, like I said, like we talked about, and we'll get there more, but some character choices where I was just like, really? You're just not going to...
Oh, some of it infuriated me at the end. I mean, I was yelling.
Mm-hmm. There were some things...
We were the only people in the theater, by the way.
Yes, it was just us. And we smuggled our fat burger in.
Yes.
So, yes, we brought the fat burger into the theater in my backpack. And
Pictures to be posted, if not before this airs. Yeah.
But yeah, all right, so that was our writer, Samuel Bodine, I don't know, Bodin. This is his directorial debut, but he is known for, well, how is that? He's the director in Tank, a miniseries. Okay, these are TV series.
Oh,
so this is his theatrical, yes, he has directed some shorts. Oh, he did a Gojira music video. Look at that. A couple TV series, TV miniseries. Yeah. Oh, Marianne. Is that the...
What?
Yeah, Marianne. This was the Netflix thing with the evil spirit with the writer. Yeah, that was pretty creepy. Oh, yeah. Marianne was on Netflix, I guess, like, was it last year? 2 years ago?
I didn't say it.
Oh, 3 years ago. 2019.
That's 4 years ago. You can't know.
2023, yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, if you remember a creepy series called Marianne, or a creepy, it was it 8 episodes? Yeah, 8 episodes. That was on Netflix. He was the director of that. Okay, so it makes a little more sense that this would be his like theatrical, because he does have experience directing, and he directed horror, and he's done it for
so he's not a bad choice.
No, not at all. It actually makes sense. He looks pretty young too. Looks like a young kid. Mm-hmm. Cool. And this is the direction was good. I mean, there was some like
some of it,
creepy, like the the cinematography and everything, the way stuff was shot. Different, and I don't want to get into spoilers. I'm trying to describe without getting into too many spoilers.
I'm waiting for you to spoil
There's
something.
Just certain things, and like in certain areas, there's like close quarters, like there's parts under the bed and different things where he's got some great angles, and he gets some really good creepy shots, and he does a good job. He does a good job with that.
Even at the end is like exploded with some crazy angles. Yeah,
and there's one dream sequence in there, man. That was creepy as fuck. I was like, man, that was good. That's really when it I felt like that's when it really jumped off. When we hit that,
I know.
That was like, okay, now we're going to get going.
We know I'm scared when I'm covering my ears and squinting my eyes and watching.
All right, let's move on to our cast.
Yes.
So we have some familiar faces in this cast, and the biggest one that people are going to recognize is probably Anthony Starr from The Boys. Mm-hmm. Homelander from The Boys, who is fucking amazing in The Boys, and he is just like a super creep, and he's super creepy in The Boys, and he's like the evil Superman type, so he can literally just kill the world in like a blink, but he has to like pretend to be this hero all the time, and he's just so slimy. It's just such a great, he's just such a great character that you can fucking hate. But he takes that same creepiness, and I know you haven't watched The Boys, but he takes that same creepy vibe, like where you just kind of like, he has this outside face that he puts on where he's putting on a show of he's like the nice guy and he's like the perfect American and all that, but inside he just wants to fucking he's devious, and he wants to kill people, and he wants to fucking do devious shit. He's got fucking shit like fucking machinations just going off in his fucking head, and it's great.
You look at him like a screw loose.
He plays the father in this to our young Woody Norman.
I, however, think the mother actress is going to top.
She was great, too.
You don't know who she is?
What was she?
She's in a lot of stuff.
I know, I recognize her. What was her biggest one?
If you're a Mean Girls fan, she's Janice Ian.
Okay, well, yes, I don't know.
You watched Mean Girls, I made you watch it.
Yeah, well, I vaguely remember her in it. She was much younger in that.
Yeah. She's in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Okay,
she's in,
yeah.
But she's Janice Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best friend.
So Lizzie Kaplan, that's Carol. Yeah, she is She was good in this as well. She was fucking creepy as fuck. Both of the parents are so
she's in
creepy.
Now You See Me Too and Cloverfield. Yeah, she's in a bunch of stuff. I like the Now You See Me series too.
Woody Norman plays young Peter, and he's the boy who has the creature in his room and hears the knocking, and he's the son of Anthony Starr and Lizzie Kaplan. And he does a pretty good job, but he's not, he's a decent young actor. I didn't have any qualms with him. Yeah, no,
he was good.
Cleopatra Coleman plays his substitute teacher, Miss Devine, and I nicknamed her Pumpkin Buns. And if you see the movie, you'll know why. Mm-hmm. Pumpkin Buns. Just boop. Pumpkin Buns.
Yep, they make a point to show.
But yeah, Cleopatra Coleman, she was a good actress.
She was good actress.
The character wasn't written very well.
Drove me crazy.
Yes, we'll get to that because that's a big pet peeve. But but Cleopatra Coleman was she was good. She was decent.
Yeah.
As the substitute teacher who was worried about young Peter. Mm-hmm. And then probably the only other one that really matters here is Luke Busey.
Oh, yeah.
Who, if that name sounds familiar, his face will look familiar because he's Gary Busey's kid.
Yeah, you literally looked at him on screen, and I think you were just like, That's a Busey. Because he's just got that face.
Yep, you could tell right away. He plays like a young bully, which is perfect for a Busey. Yeah. If you know the Buseys, they're good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
His mother's also in it, plays his mom as well.
It's not his actual mom. It's just Gary Busey's partner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
One of Gary Busey's ex-wives.
Oh, so she plays...
She's Stephanie...
the mom in the movie, but is not his actual mom.
I did not get that. No, I don't think so. But
she might be his actual mom. We'll look into that further. But yeah, he was good as a little bully, and I guess we should mention Alexandra Dragova as Sarah, a.k.a. the girl. And yeah, we can get to more to her once we get to the spoilers, because
Where's her real picture?
There's no picture.
Ah!
Because she probably is a stunt performer. She probably is, or a contortionist, I would suspect.
Yeah.
And probably, I'll just click on it and see if she has any other acting credits. But, Memory, Subservience, Expendables 4. Yeah, she's done a few things. Oh, yeah, stunts. She's a stunt woman. Mm-hmm. Stunts on Angela Libre, Memory, The Offering, Devil's Promise, an actress in a few things. Yep, Cobweb. Yeah, not too much here, but yes, she's contortionist. She's in a TV series as a stunt double. So Alexandra Dragova. This movie was shot where?
Bulgaria, Sofia, Bulgaria, if I remember correctly.
Bulgaria. So there's a huge Bulgarian crew. All the names in the credits are.
Yeah, when we're watching the credits,
are like, oh, this is like Russia or something.
Yeah.
And aside from our lead actors, everybody else was pretty foreign. Yeah. All right, so that about does it for our cast. This one is, where's it sitting right about now? It's got a 6.2 rating on IMDb, which isn't bad. And I'd probably say that's about where I'd probably put it.
I was going to put it a little less, but...
about a 6.
Yeah, I was going to go 6.
The second half really, picked it up.
Oh, maybe it is his mom. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is as well.
Well, because I don't see his other wives as, and he's so young, so I think they've been partners for a while. So yeah. All right. Just curious.
So this one's from Lionsgate, also a big studio production. And Lionsgate must have just said, "Hey, let's go shoot this over in Bulgaria where it's cheap." Or they really like that house, I guess, in Bulgaria. I don't know.
No,
it was a creepy house, but yeah,
they had to have. Yeah, there had to be something more to that, right?
Maybe. Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, James Leroy Lee would produce it. Oh, so produced by Seth Rogen. Bulgaria. Yep. Limited theatrical release by Lionsgate in the United States on July 21st. 61% on Rotten Tomatoes, 54 critics, average 6 out of 10. Yeah. This itsy bitsy horror film Creeps and Crawls was one of the reviews. Yeah, I mean it's right what I'd say, about a 6.
All right, so why don't you give your first take?
Well, we have to do our intro. We're going to give our first takes, and this will be spoiler-free, folks.
Yes.
So with that being said, I'll go first.
Yay, this is the first.
I'll go first as I wear my Spider-Girl shirt here, my Arachnid Girl. Woo! From Hot Topic, because I have no shame. I'm a fucking mall goth.
I got you. Me too.
My first take is I enjoyed it. The first half was slow, but creepy. And I started to worry that there wasn't going to be any spiders. I was like, is there spiders? What the? Maybe there's not spiders, but then
there
stuff
was like
started happening.
there was like one spider at one point. And I was like, look, there's your spider.
There's a spider, yay! And I was like, but yeah, like the second half, man, there was some creepy stuff in here. Second half was really good. There were some questionable character decisions, like we always get. I feel like sometimes they just have no choice but to do some of these things because otherwise it's going to derail the movie, I guess. And we'll get to that in the digging deeper section. But yeah, there were a couple of fucking like the substitute teacher making some choices, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I mean, there's some things, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed the ride. I enjoyed the scares and especially the ending. The whole like last half hour was fucking. Yeah. It was definitely, and it wasn't as slow as say Unwelcome that I did my 1-minute movie review on, which was like an hour of slow bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was just stuff that was like so not integral to the rest of the plot, whereas this was slow, but the stuff was actually integral to the plot. And the performances by the parents really keep you creeped out and like interested. It really keeps you invested because you're just like, what the fuck is up with these two? I know. No, the performances are so good and they're so fucking creepy by the parents that it really keeps your attention, even though it's a bit of a slow burn in the first half. And the second half is just fucking great, man. I really dug the second half.
Yeah, except for some.
Well, yeah, and we'll get to that. Except for a couple character choices, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pretty much ditto most of what you just said. I didn't find it as slow in the beginning. Like it was fine. We got to kind of like know that something creepy was going on pretty quickly. I thought it's just I was calling out things. Some of it I feel like I picked out, and then other ones I was just completely blindsided that that's the way that they were going. So it was fun. It was scary. But at the end, like, I have more questions now that we finished it. I have more questions. So I'm kind of like, where I thought where it was going just didn't. And now I'm caught with more questions. So I'm just kind of like, cat's got my tongue, because I don't know. Well, the end is a little crazy. The end is crazy. And like, once the twist is revealed, it just opens up a whole floodgate of, how did we even get here? I know. Like once everything comes out, you're like, man, I want to know everything now. I need to know, like, from point A, like the start. Oh, I need to know everything. I'm like, why? Just why would that happen? Why would this person do this? Why? Like, I have so many more questions, and I just feel like I'm gonna start spoiling stuff because I feel like I just have to get into it. But there was just so much. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it and you're waiting for us to you're listening to us and you want to go watch it before you hear all the spoils, it's definitely scary. I think it would be, I could go either way, going to the theater versus seeing it, waiting for it to come out, Well,
the biggest problem is it's not in a lot of theaters. Right?
Yeah, so...
and the other thing is that it came out the same week as Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yes.
So it went up against the two biggest movies of the fucking year. And every other week this year, like you've noticed, we just have nonstop horror movies coming out every week.
It's crazy.
Every week. Like next week, we got to see Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's like this is only going to get a week of being the new horror movie in the theaters. And it's in very limited theaters. So the chance of seeing it in the theater, great.
It's not one that I would say you have to, go out to see it in the theater.
But if you're looking for something to watch while you're waiting for the other stuff to come out and you want to go to the theater, check it out.
Yeah.
But it should come to streaming at some point pretty quickly. I would suspect
think so,
because it's in such a limited release.
Yeah.
So, but definitely check it out when it comes to streaming. I definitely recommend watching it when it streams.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy. It's got those moments where I was like kicking the seat in front of me. Like, don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't touch me.
Well, at one point I grabbed it. I was like, oh my God!
I freaked out.
Yes. All right, well, let's get into our digging deeper. Break out the shovel, Steph Infection.
Woo! Right off the bat, I'm just going to say things that kind of freaked me out, I guess, a little bit. Start
at the beginning with the kid. I mean, we got to meet the kid. The kid's like, we find out that he's kind of like a sheltered kid. His parents are super overprotective. He lives in his creepy old fucking house.
But do we get that right away? I forget the opening.
I'm not going to say we get it right away, but let's just jump. We need to establish.
I thought we did the knocking on the wall kind of pretty fast. I thought that's the first thing.
Well, we started to get that knock, yes, because we get established that he's like a weird kid. He's a creepy kid in school.
He doesn't have friends.
He doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
The fucking substitute teacher's worried about him, and he hears this knocking on the wall in his room at night, and he wakes his parents up, and they are just like, "Oh, stop! Stop lying! Stop making shit up! Just grow up!" And putting him back to bed.
The first night, the mom walks him back, and then she's like, "It's just in your head," and then it wasn't that creepy right away with her, and the next time something happens, he hears, Peter, help me.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts yelling, and then the dad comes in, and he's like, I thought they were being cool at first. He was like, oh, it's probably he starts knocking on the wall and listening. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get any weirdness. Rats. He says, probably just rats. And I did call this, though. I said, that whole scene, it was like foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't see the way it happened.
With the rats in the wall. So we get with the rats in the wall. He's like, I got something for the rats. And the dad goes down and he gets the poison and
it smells like...
he's explaining to him, it smells like cinnamon and that. And you knew right away that was foreshadowing. We were like,
I thought...
Foreshadowing, cinnamon, it smells like cinnamon.
I didn't see that.
I totally did. I leaned over you and said foreshadowing.
No, I thought you were talking about their conversation.
I was talking about the...
Were you really?
The rat poison and
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah.
Until the end. I thought, because he said, whatever the line was, he...
Protect your family. Yeah. That was it. Or do whatever you can.
No, he said something before that.
He says to him, always do whatever you can. You do whatever you have to do to protect your family. That's what the father says to him at the end of that conversation. Yeah, after he explains to him how the rat poison smells like cinnamon.
Yeah, there was something he said before that. I think they talked about did they talk about the dinner with bring up the little girl?
Well, I was going to get to that. Okay. We have to lead our way to that. So we get to school after we do the rat poison thing, and we have he's at school, and all the other kids are out at recess, and here we get another thing about him being a little weirdo, a little creepy kid, because he's still inside, and substitute teacher's like, oh, don't you want to go out for recess, and don't you have friends? And he just kind of looks down, he has no friends, and she asks him what he's going to be for Halloween, and he doesn't do Halloween. He doesn't have any idea because his parents don't celebrate Halloween. So then they cut to dinner, and he's asking, got dress up for Halloween? Can I go for Halloween? And this is when the parents start to get a little creepy, because this is when
the dad starts
to turn a little bit, because he's kind of asking, and we've gotten the overprotective thing now. We've kind of felt, but now we're going to get why. And the dad tells the story of the little girl in the neighborhood who went missing. What was it, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
6 years prior? The little girl went missing.
And the mom starts getting nervous, and she's like...
And both the parents are visibly nervous. This is something that visibly shakes them. And
this is why, now I remember, though, this conversation happened before the Help Me scene.
Yeah.
Because that was the point where the dad comes in and says, it's Rats and Milk, but I was like, oh, it's the little girl. We just found out about this little girl.
Yeah,
is that the little girl? This is all in my head. Obviously, we're digging deeper, and that's not the case, but this is where your mindset's going. Oh, is it the ghost of the little girl? Did they kill the little girl? Because he did say a line before when he starts saying, the kid's like, what happens if they eat the rat food? And he's like,
Yeah.
And before he says that last line that you said about protecting family, he says something about sometimes you have to kill things. Like, he said something about killing, and I wish I could remember it, but that's the point where I went, oh, that's foreshadowing. Before the last line and before,
Yeah,
So right away I'm like, oh, they killed the girl, and she's in the wall, and it's her ghost.
Thinking,
that's exactly
kind of where you're thinking, because they're creepy enough that you're like, did these motherfuckers kill that girl that was missing? And I mean, there's a lot of questions. Like, as I'm constantly, through this whole thing, you're like, what could it be? This could it be that? And, and so then we get, then the teacher is. We get the drawing. Yeah. Well, first we get another knock at the wall, and we get more of the girl now kind of making contact with
Peter.
With Peter, and talking a little more, and him getting a little creeped out, and
that's one thing I was like, what, this ghost? Because in my head I'm like, this is a ghost. I'm like, this ghost is talking a lot. like usually it's like very like hit or miss when you hear ghosts, especially through a wall. But they were having full conversations. And I was like, and they were letting us know that pretty early on. And I was like, what, this is weird. And I started like not liking it, but then we get some...
Well, because you start to realize maybe it's not a ghost.
Well,
maybe there's actually somebody in the fucking wall.
Yeah, and I was like, what is happening? This isn't ghost vibes anymore. But then again, who knows? Maybe... Whatever. You have all these questions, and your mind's going like, what the hell is going on here? Right.
So as this is happening, we have back in school, again, substitute teacher, and Peter does a drawing, as a painting of his room and him in bed, and it's black, and there's just like "Help Me" written in the top of the where the wall is, where the wall is in his room. And the teacher sees this, and she's very concerned, and so after school, she shows up at Peter's house to knock at the door, and you get the creepy confrontation with the mom at the door.
Yeah, and she's like, why are you here? And she's like, I just want to make sure he's okay. Oh, he's fine, and she shows him the painting, and the mom's response immediately, you could see that she's upset seeing it, closes it and goes, oh, this is embarrassing. Peter has such a, crazy imagination, and he makes up stories and stuff. I'll be certain, to talk to him. And when she goes, she shuts the door basically on the teacher's face, goes upstairs, and I think he's like talking to the wall again. Is he talking to the little girl, I think? What it sounds
Maybe.
Like, because she walks in, and this is where we see our first cut on his face, even though we don't know.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't know why he has a cut on his chin.
Yeah, there's either some continuity fuck-ups in this movie, or
I think they
editing fuck-ups.
I think it was editing,
and it might have been the editing fuck-ups.
Yeah, and I think they tried just overlooking that one scene because it's kind of in the other.
Well,
scenes.
it happens quite a bit. Like
twice.
Peter has a cut, and there's a few on his chin, and it disappears in some scenes, and it's back in others, and it disappears, and then it's back, and then you're like, what? He's grounded in the basement for a little while, and it's gone, but it happened before that because that's how the fucking whole thing started. And
I think originally it was those scenes were first, and then the bully scene.
It up. I think the editor fucked it up.
Yeah,
is what happened.
So anyway, so she comes and she's like yelling at him, like, "What is this?" And Peter's like, now scared of his mom. And why did you just lie to the teacher instead of saying, "Oh my gosh, maybe he's having nightmares"? I don't know, like a normal mom. Yeah. I'll go talk to him. Like, she just makes up the story that she's fucking lying about something. She's lying about something. She's covering something up.
She's super sus.
Yes. Yeah, those kids. Those crazy kids. She is sus. But she's like yelling, and then later on, at some point, we see her kind of, oh God. Was it the next scene? He says something about hearing a little girl, and the dad's like, "No, you didn't hear that. It's just the rats, and it's an old house. This creaks and whatever." And she goes, she gets all nervous with the dad and shows him the painting and goes, "Oh my God, well, he wrote this, he wrote this at school, and I was going to tell you about it." And like, instantly we're like,
no, that was after the whole incident with Busey, though.
Oh, probably. Okay.
Yeah, so you're skipping the whole fucking bullying incident.
All right, well, go on. I don't know. I got all these questions, but...
So, yes. Just skipping right past that.
Whatever.
So, Jake Busey, or who is it? What is Busey? Which one? What's his fucking name? Which Busey is he? Child Busey.
Oh, that's right. That happens then. Yeah, Luke Busey. Yeah.
So the Brian character bullies our Peter character. They're all painting pumpkins.
Yes, and that's where we get the...
Brian smashes Luke's pumpkin. I'm sorry, Brian smashes Peter's pumpkin. And...
pushes Peter to the ground.
Pushes Peter to the ground, and that's when he gets the cut. Mm-hmm. So now the cut... And this isn't, and now I'm thinking it's not a continuity error. I mean, it is a continuity error, not an editing error, because what happens next, here's the next order of events. Peter gets pushed, he gets the cut. But we've already seen the cut in the scene prior when... didn't we? We already saw it in the scene prior.
No, it's an editing thing, and I'll tell you.
All right. So anyway, at any rate, here's why I know it's an editing thing, because he knocks him down, smash pumpkin, knocks him down, and then the next day he brings in a pumpkin and apologizes, but the voice is telling him he has to. And this was weird too, because the voice was talking to him at school, right?
I think it was just playing in his head of what she already told him.
I guess.
That's the impression I got.
Yeah, I guess. That was a weird... That was... Because if she's in the wall, how's she still talking to him at school? That's what made me think. Because he's at school, and even though the pumpkin was smashed and the kid gave him a new pumpkin and apologized, she's like, "You got to make him scared of you. You got to make him fear you." And the two kids, the Busey and another kid, are walking down the hall, and you see him turn. And next thing you see is Peter walk behind them, and you hear, "Ah!" Screaming, and we cut to Luke Busey at the bottom of some steps, and Peter had pushed him down steps, and his legs all fucking twisted and broken, and
his tidbit just...
It's it's pointing the wrong way, and that warrants the principal's office. He gets expelled. Then his parents are snapping, and his dad's freaking out. "Why would you do this?" Da, da, da. And that's when the mom finally shows the dad the artwork. That's when the artwork comes out to the dad. And he's like, "Why did you hide this from me?" Da, da, da. And that's when
he like shuts her down, because she starts going, "Do you think he can like you could see, do you think that or he hears it or something?" You get the impression that she's trying to say that she knows that he's hearing something. I think originally they wrote that where the teacher comes after the fight to check on him, hands the thing, and that's why that scene.
That's why he has the cut.
He has the cut in that
he's
scene.
Talking to the mom.
But they probably later were like, when she says, "I was going to tell you," I don't know. Maybe they just.
But here's the
cut it up.
problem, because he has the cut now when his dad is being told about the expulsion and pushing the kid down the steps and all that. And this is when the dad grounds him. And we see that they have and he's not to his room, to the basement. And we find out that there's a door behind a fucking, they have a hidden basement door behind a refrigerator, and they fucking pull that out of the way and unlock and keys, and they drag the kid down the basement.
This is when we were like, holy
and we're like, okay, what the
shit.
fuck is going on here? There's like a chain, and there's a grate with a fucking, and there's a teddy bear in the bottom of this pit.
With a creepy smile.
With creepy teeth and shit. And we're like, what the fuck? Is that like the girls who was that the girl's teddy bear?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what you're thinking, is the girl who went missing, it's her teddy bear and it was down there. But it's not her teddy bear. It's somebody else's teddy bear. We're getting there.
It was
But just now you're like, what the fuck is going on? They got something chained down here in the basement. There's a pit with a grate over top of it. And these motherfuckers are locking their kid in the basement.
Yes.
For like days.
And she's like, I don't know how many.
So that was, it felt like days. At any rate, so that happened. Now, during this time, we get our teacher who comes back again.
Even after the original teacher is like, you went to a kid's house?
Yeah.
You know.
Whatever.
But she's already been told, like, hey.
Don't go to the house.
Don't go to the house.
Pumpkin Buns is going back. Pumpkin Buns is worried about little Peter, and she goes back. Now, here's...
this is when she got the nickname, when she walked up again, I think. I think it was the second. No, it was the first one.
No, it's probably the first one. I've been calling it Pumpkin Buns all movie. But this is where you're questioning character decisions, because this is where she... Again, this kid has had a help me... he's painted a picture that says help me. Now he hasn't been in school, I guess. That's why she's going to check. Oh, yeah, he was expelled. And she was going to find out, to check on him and see if he was okay.
She gave the math test. So she had the math test, but she wrote her phone number on
the
it.
math test. That's right.
So this is her, thinking...
But again, she shows up with no backup. There's no cops, no social worker, just her by herself.
I think at this point, I still didn't question her showing up again to drop off the math thing, to check on him.
She's writing a phone number down. She's obviously worried that this kid is in some kind of danger. So I just think maybe she might have brought a social worker or somebody.
It's all the decisions after this creepy exchange that I really question her.
Yeah, this was a wild one, because she knocks at the door, and the mom answers again. And she's, oh, yeah, what are you doing back, blah, blah, blah. And you think it's just going to be like she's going to chase her away again. But then fucking Homelander steps out. And Homelander's like, come on in for some coffee. And he's got a fucking hammer in his hand.
I know! And I'm like, oh my God.
And he's got blood dripping down his arm.
His entire arm is cut.
Yeah, and she's like, there's the tension in this scene is great. I mean,
it was really good,
with her coming in and them talking about everything, and she's asking to see Peter, and now you can't see him, or what? I forget why they said. Or
he's grounded. He's in his room.
Oh yeah. And then they start to freak out. The mom starts to freak out, and you better leave, and she starts to walk out, and he picks up the hammer and follows her out to the fucking car, and it's just like, oh fuck.
I was like, oh my God, he's gonna bash her. I was waiting for her to get the hammer.
Yeah.
And then she forgets her keys. He goes out, and he's just got blood dripping. He's like, oh, I got caught on a nail, but come on. Which at the end of this, you're like, why were you that creepy? The whole time. Why were you the creepiest human being ever?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. She winds up, driving away and everything like that. But, and then...
Well, Peter starts banging.
Oh,
they have the dryer going.
She's about to, the washer was going, and that's when she was like, what's that noise? Oh, it's the washer, because the washer stops, and Peter's kicking the wall, and she doesn't, because he's still grounded.
In the basement.
Yeah.
But then, creepy mom makes some pumpkin, because they got pumpkins all over the lawn, pumpkin cupcakes with two sad faces, and the rest are happy faces. And she puts in 2 candles, I'm assuming into the sad faces, and she goes down and she's like, you're all done. And I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah, fucking lunatics.
And she tucks him in, and I think, because he was asking to talk to the girl. He's like, are you down here? No, she wasn't.
The girl wasn't in the basement.
The girl wasn't in the basement, so I'm like...
The walls don't extend to the basement.
Yeah.
But then how was she talking to him in school?
I think
Just
that was...
in his head?
I think that was replaying in his head. I think they had that conversation the night before.
Yeah.
About being bullied.
All right, so anyway, at this point, the voice in the wall has gotten into Peter's head, and now he's going to get his revenge on his parents, right? That's pretty much...
Is this the scene? But I think it was after he was in the basement that he has that creepy nightmare scene, or was that before?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember at what line.
Yeah, I forget what point that happened, but the creepy nightmare scene, fuck,
I think it may have been after, because now he's like really scared of
No, that was the one that was, he was, oh, fuck. Didn't he like wake up and his dad was in the corner of the room? And he was like, yeah, and the eyes were like,
I was like,
holy shit!
What the fuck?
And then they just stopped,
and
and
he
just
goes,
had this fucking look on his, this sinister fucking look, and he
goes, "Look what you did to your mother," or something like that.
Yeah,
and then you see his mom's
the fucking hallway, and it's all black, and then you just see eyes, and you kind of see an outline of her face, and it's like ghastly, and then it just starts fucking running at you,
and then it goes,
and it just disappears into the darkness.
Well, first it was light. And then it went...
It goes black, and you don't see anything, but you still hear the footsteps coming at you.
Oh my God, this was so creepy, because you're like, the hallway is not that big. The hallway is not that big. The hallway is not that big.
There's nothing there.
When are you coming? And then she finally
And all of a sudden, she's just there, and she's like, right through, and jumps onto the fucking bed on him.
And she's like, I guess, strangling him or whatever, and he's fighting it.
The camera flips, and he wakes up and it's daytime, and she's like waking him up.
And holding him.
And
she's like, you were screaming in your sleep.
Ooh,
I was like, that was a good, I was like, oh my God.
Good scene.
My God.
It was a really good fucking scene.
And
again, it's the fucking parents, the actors, they were so fucking creepy. Fuck, man. Man. That was really, I think, the point where the movie really takes off. That's where it really kind of like...
That's when we were in.
Oh, fuck, I'm awake. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Because I was getting a little... It was only fucking 4:30 in the afternoon. I was still getting a little... all right, come on, man. Let's get this moving. Part
of me thinks it was before that basement scene, because I feel like that basement scene was just so crazy. I don't know. It got the heart racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so that whole kind of thing. So he's now, and that kind of shows you where his head's at. He's been manipulated by this thing in the wall so much that he thinks his parents are trying to kill him, and that's kind of like we're kind of on that wavelength too, because everything we've seen as the audience has pointed to all that shit too. These motherfuckers are creepy.
Yeah.
So we're all in. We're like, yeah, kid, you gotta save yourself. Listen to the voice in the wall. And that's where the twist comes in.
Yeah. Well, the voice in the wall eventually says, you can't look at me, but I'm your sister. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
Your
I'm your sister. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And they locked me in here, and you got to save me, and that's what it turns out. It's not a ghost, and it's not the little girl. It's
the sister.
It's his sister.
But still, everything. I still had all these questions at this point. I'm like, what? And then we see. She goes, "I'll prove it to you." She says that they killed the little girl.
Right.
And she says,
the parents did it.
"I'll tell you exactly where to find, where to dig out back."
Yes, that's right.
She goes out. He goes out back like the next day, or basically at some point during this night. But when he's in bed, she says, once they're, you can't trust them. They're evil. Once they don't want you anymore, once they kill me, they'll put you in here.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? So he goes out back, and we cut to him digging.
Yep.
And it cuts back to the mom that actually has a picture of Wooder, moves the clock, which we find out from the sister in the wall that
the door where she's locked in.
She's
there.
like, well, I'm behind
the door's behind the clock.
Yeah.
So we see Mom leaving the pitcher of water, leaving behind the clock with the water. So we're like, oh fuck, man, there really is something in the fucking wall. She's leaving water for it. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then things are starting to fall into place a little bit more here, and you're like, damn, these motherfuckers are evil.
And he digs and he finds a
skull. Yeah. Which,
and then,
conveniently enough, the kid digs like a foot down. Like, barely that whole scene, I was like, okay, all right, I get it for the sake of whatever continuity or just moving this shit along. We're gonna do this, but come on,
you're
man.
growing pumpkins out there. Those vines would have,
they would have
popped that up.
Yeah.
Plus,
here's my other question. The girl went missing 6 years ago, and they searched all over for her. This house is in the neighborhood. They would have had dogs out searching for the body. They wouldn't have just gone into every neighbor's yard and searched all these yards, and that thing was only like a foot down. You couldn't have, the dogs wouldn't have found the fucking body buried in the backyard.
They might not have done that. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, it's questionable, but that's one of the things that I found questionable. It was just all too convenient. He smacks it, and it's just a perfectly formed skull looking right up at him.
Yeah,
like they just leave they don't bury it in a bag or anything.
No,
they just put the skull looking straight up. So it's just so conveniently fucking placed. Like it was too movie-esque. Maybe he should have found a femur or a broken finger bone or something.
Yeah,
just finding this.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, that looked like a adult-sized skull, right? Did it look like a 6-year-old girl's skull to you?
It could have been. I didn't see the actual cranium part. It didn't. We just really saw the face. You just see the
front, but I mean, it still looked like a.
I don't. Wasn't it an 11-year-old girl or something?
Was it 11?
Yeah, it could have been.
Oh, it was 6 years ago.
Yeah, it was
it was 6 years ago that it happened. So yeah, 11-year-old girl.
Yeah, I didn't get a good look.
All right, I won't nitpick on that one, but it was only. It wasn't even like a foot down. The kid's digging for 2 minutes, and all of a sudden it's there, and he's like, oh.
But then we see the curtain kind of go, and we hear the mom see him through the window and yell, Peter, and now she's going through the whole.
And she's rushing out.
Because she knows.
Right, he's rushing to cover it back up, and when she gets out there, he spins around, he's holding a pumpkin, and Mama, since I can't go trick-or-treating, can we carve a pumpkin? And then she's carving pumpkins like a fucking lunatic.
I know.
There's guts and fucking ripping guts everywhere. Fucking stab. I'm just like, this fucking bitch is crazy.
I know. Yeah. Really, really crazy. And
again, man, just fucking hats off to the fucking parent actors because they totally sold this whole misdirection. This is a whole fucking bait and switch. This whole fucking thing was a whole misdirection, and they are the whole reason it sold so well because they were so fucking creepy, man.
I know. And this is the part because it's Halloween, right? It's Halloween day. I think she carves all these pumpkins. She goes upstairs, and that's when she. Isn't that when she? Oh no! We get the phone call to the teacher. He calls the teacher.
Oh yeah,
on Halloween. I think Halloween may be the next day.
Well, he's just in danger. He feels like he's in danger. And we see the kid. He found the phone number that's on the test that they left, and he goes to the room to make the fucking call, and the mom catches him.
And that he's on the phone. He's looking at the door like this. He's looking at the door back, and then he turns his shoulder and turns around, and she's just standing in the corner. So she picks up the phone. She's like, "Oh, he's shy right now, but he wanted to thank you," and blah blah blah. So creepy, and I'm like, "Oh my god, she's gonna kill him." Now this is when it gets batshit crazy because he runs into his room. Now there's a hole in the wall, so we saw the sister's eye at one point.
Yeah, we have seen that there is something talking to him in the hole in the wall at this point. Then he pulls the wallpaper apart at the bottom of the wall.
Yeah, and she did say that she clawed through the walls to get to him. So he goes in and he's standing against it, and she's like, "What is that behind you?" And she sees
the hole in the wall.
The hole in the wall. And this is when she has an insane meltdown, panicking. What did you do? What did you do? Wait until your father gets home. And then she gets scared. She starts grabbing the wall and going, no. And then goes all the way to her bedroom. I'm like, oh God, she's going to kill him. And then she locks herself in her bedroom. And I'm like, this was the point where I went, kid, get out of the house.
Now's your chance. Go.
Like, even if they're your parents, you just get out.
Yeah.
You go to the police station and say, hey, my sister's in the wall. Can you come look? Can you come talk to her? Because I'm sure what we see at the end would have came out, you know. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So then the dad comes home. Now he's in bed. And I'm like, these parents are gonna kill you. Like we're all thinking, all of us in the theater.
All two, yes, all two.
We were all thinking that he's gonna kill them, or he's gonna kill him. So he kind of like, he sees his parents talking downstairs, and he sneaks down on the steps, and just like very innocent looking, like looks through the banister. Dad catches him running up the steps.
Well, and they're talking. You hear him talking about her, and saying some stuff about the sister now, and so a couple of little. You catch some words that again, you're like, there is somebody in the fucking wall. There is a sister. This is fucking insane. Like, what the fuck? And now you're like, what the fuck is going on? So how do we get to the dinner? Let's get to the dinner scene.
Well, he goes upstairs and he's like, you know, tomorrow you got to help me. And then he kind of like goes out, and we have this moment where he says, half of these pumpkins are bad. We got to bury them and start over. Do you understand? And I was like, oh fuck! Like they really put this bad sister. Like what's wrong with her? Like why'd they put her in the wall? Didn't see what. I don't know. I feel like they should have been honest with this kid at some point.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we get to Halloween dinner, and they're eating soup, which looks like mush.
Oh, God. Cool.
And I'm assuming it was like pumpkin soup or something. I don't know. And he's like, the dad's eating the whole thing. And I'm like, how are they letting this kid live? Like,
the kid's just sitting there not moving. He's not eating. He's just sitting there staring down at his plate, and just kind of, and the mom and dad are eating, and then the dad starts saying, hey, did you put something different in the
second he said that.
I was like,
second
it's the fucking
said
cinnamon.
That.
It's the
I went, oh
cinnamon.
my God, cinnamon.
It's the fucking cinnamon. And said, yeah. And they're sniffing, and then mom's like, no, it is something. Oh, yes, cinnamon. And the dad stops eating. And the mom's still eating. And the dad looks at the boy's bowl, and he's like, and the bowl's full. And he looks at his bowl, and it's almost empty, and the mom's bowl's almost empty.
And he looks at the garage, or the shed, too, and the shed door's open, and it all adds up.
Does he tell her stop eating or something? Did he tell her stop? No.
Well, he says call 911 at some point.
Oh, yeah. He jumped
up
and says,
what did you, he goes, what did you do? Did you do something, son? Like, just asking. Mm-hmm. Not really thinking that this kid is going to say this, and he goes, you hurt my sister. And that's when he goes, call 911, and she runs over, and the phone line's cut.
Yeah.
And
Dad falls over. He's puking up blood.
Oh my God! It was like black tar.
Shit,
yeah. Oh, that's what it looked like.
And he fucking
keels over and dies.
He keels over, and then mom grabs a knife, and she's chasing Peter up the stairs and trying to get him, and she's throwing up now. And as she's dying, she says,
"Don't let her out." And I'm like, oh no. And that's when I went, they were protecting him, weren't they? Oh no, what's going to happen?
Fucking twist, man.
What's going to happen?
Fucking twist.
Don't let her out. And I'm like, don't. She kept saying it in her dying breaths. I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
And Peter takes the key, and he goes and moves the clock, and he turns the lock and falls back, and the door slowly opens, and we get our first look at the hair and spiders, and there's cobwebs in the hair, and
he runs away.
Yeah, he's we see the eyes and the teeth.
That's when I think we're
like, what
glowing.
The fuck? Like coming through the fucking black, and you're just like, and then you see the fingers kind of creeping and reaching through, and he just gets creeped out because it's this I guess it's human, but it's like
Well, I think, didn't it start talking and you're like, that's not a little girl? I think
voice
that's
changed.
what
The voice
happened, and that's
changed.
when he runs out of the room. Yeah,
because
it sounded like a witch.
Yeah, the voice changes from sounding like a little girl to sounding like a creepy old witch, a creepy old creature, and that's what it's
Like
been
she
fucking. It's been
laughs or
tricking him the whole
something.
time. Yeah. And it does, and she comes out, and that's what happens. This fucking spider girl, this fucking spider bitch.
Oh my God.
Creepy fucking like contortionist chick walking on all fours, and the hair's all matted, like the hair's been growing forever, not
Forever.
cut, and the nails are long, and the smile and the teeth, like she's like a. It's
We
like
don't
a
see her
creature.
face until the end.
Yeah,
though.
we don't see the face until later.
But all these scenes. So the bullies come back because we know that the bullies are coming back with older brothers. So there's
So outside. So the parents are dead, and the creature is now loose, and Peter goes and hides under his bed. And the bullies are outside, the broken leg boy and his older brothers. Yeah, and they all have masks on and bats, and
we see the creature like that pulled the mom's body too. So we know she's like hiding them somewhere or something.
Yeah. So see the bodies disappear.
Or eating them. I didn't know what this thing was yet.
Yeah. So then the bullies and kid come in, and they're smashing up the house. They're looking for Peter. They're like, "Oh, you home alone?" And smashing all the shit up. And then our spider bitch starts taking out these fucking bullies one by one.
The first one we see, so like Luke Busey, who plays Brian, he's on crutches and he goes in after the two older ones, and he kind of like slips on blood and falls. Then we have one of the older guys that was just smashing the piano. We see something on the wall like crawling, and I was like, oh,
It's up in the corner.
It's up in the corner like a spider, and it just crawled over. And falls behind, and we just see the hair on top of the piano, and the kid's like, what the hell? And then, just like anything that's, under the bed or whatever, they grab your 2 feet, ankles, pulls them underneath, but then it was like, splat, like
blood just
splat, as if it's just
spray, like she just ripped him open, and that shit was just...
Yeah, that was cool. I was like, oh.
Ripped the head off, right? There was
upstairs,
one. And then, we got... She kept pulling... The kills were off camera, which... a little disappointing. Every kill, it was like they pulled them out of view. Even the one where... And this one was kind of good, but it's like an old... Like where you see him... And he's like hanging on to the edge and getting pulled down the hallway, and you don't actually see what's
I
pulling
appreciated
him.
this.
And it kind of lifted him and banged him around a little bit along there, which I appreciate, but that's so old. We did that with fucking Krampus with the pull down the hallway.
I know, but also it's like...
I want to see the monster, damn it.
That's why I was like, I don't like... I would have ruined it for me if I saw it too early on.
And I'm not saying I want to see the whole monster, but you could have shown me like, for instance, when the head gets taken off of the one guy, did you show us, like, it grabs and rips, just a close-up of the head getting ripped off. It's just something of the kill. I hate off-camera kills, man.
I don't mind them. I didn't like...
This was R, right? This was rated R, or was this PG-13? Sorry.
I think it was R. I don't know, actually. I thought it was R.
Yeah, it's rated R. Yeah. So why not show some of these?
They did show some stuff, but like...
I think all the bully kills were off camera.
Yeah,
all the bully kills were off camera.
Well, they were, but...
like you never see it. Like you see a little bit of them get pulled or something like that, and then you see the blood spray. And
that scene where he's under his bed and he's looking down the hallway, did you see how many times the guy was getting thrown and hitting the door? Didn't it seem a little weak?
Yeah. They kept coming back. And, it was like, come back this way, and then you'd see him get chucked again.
But it wasn't hard.
No.
He was just kind of like bumping into the wall.
Yeah, it was like she was bouncing him off the wall and back to her, and then eventually she bit the head off or ripped his head off or something.
And these kills, but off camera or not, were so vicious, that. This is why I hated the ending, because I was like, really? Really?
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So she kills all the bullies, and then we really see, and she's also said during this time, she's kind of been, before this, she kind of was tormenting Peter, I think, or does that happen after this, where she talks about how she learned to bite and claw and climb and trained herself because she was locked in the wall and all this stuff, and learned to be a predator?
I think she said it after she killed all the bullies, because she's looking for him, kind of, and she's going through the house, and
yeah. I think it was after.
Yeah.
So that's when. So the bullies are all dead, and the fucking. The Busey kid, how does he?
He sees, he slipped and he's got the blood, and he like looks and he's like, what the hell? And the door kind of opens and you see the mom just staring.
Yeah, mom. And then how does he eventually get killed by the? I forget how did the creature kill Busey?
Let's just say she ate him.
Sucks him up into the fucking thing or something.
I forget too. It was after. Yeah, I don't remember.
At any rate, kills all the kids, all the bullies, and now she's tormenting Peter, and she's talking about how, so essentially, she's kind of telling the story how she was born a monster, and she had it all deformed, and she was a fucking creature. Apparently, like, you can piece together now, the parents tried to like raise her, and that's why this other girl went missing. The fucking daughter killed the fucking girl
on Halloween, I guess.
And the parents were trying to, keep her hidden. And
I'm assuming that she came to the door for trick or treating, and the daughter
killed her. Yeah, and ate her, or whatever, just ripped her apart. But then they, So that's what was in the basement, the fucking chain and the pit with the fucking teddy bear. That was all to contain the daughter. And then at some point they just decided, well, we're just going to lock her in the wall.
That's what I mean. I had so many questions, and I'm sorry. Did they still love her? And that's why.
I mean, wouldn't you just like put it? It's like a rabid dog. You would put it down, I would think.
I can understand
They locked her in the wall and we're still bringing her water.
Even in The Omen and all that, when you have a demon child, you kind of still love them.
Yeah.
This thing, though.
This was absolutely a monster. It was
absolutely a monster. Yeah, it didn't even. I think it would have been better when we finally did see the face that it was more so I wanted it to look more human. I thought it would have been scarier, actually.
If it was a little more human.
Yeah,
I like the teeth, though. I thought that was a nice touch. I thought that it.
Yeah, but the glowing eyes. I don't know. I was like, well, all right, but now you're just not. Now you're an actual monster. You're not just.
And that's where the questions come in, because
monster.
Now we want to. It's not like you were a crazy person that they locked away in the walls, and therefore your nails grew and all this shit grew, and then you became feral. No, you were an actual monster to begin with, like a deformed, crazy-looking monster to begin with, and now, and then you just got worse in the walls. So, but at any rate, so she eventually catches Peter, right, and locks him in the fucking pit.
Yes.
And then this is when we finally see her, and the fucking gate is open, and Peter's in the pit, and we have the stuffed animal, the teddy bear with the crazy teeth, and then we get the hand come over the top, and now we start to see, and this was a good rigging, because this was practical.
Yeah, it was creepy.
The shaft goes down 15 feet, probably 20 feet, and she's crawling down it like a spider, man, and it was a good. But she's
she's definitely holding on to either side, because I took notice to that. So it's that's why it looked. It could be human at this point still, just using...
Yeah, but the way her joints moved and stuff, she was definitely, and again, contortionist was the actress, but it was very four-legged movement.
Yeah, but then,
And she creeps all the way down. Now, mind you, this whole time she's super long, ratty hair with a bunch of spiders and shit in it as well, and Cobweb's super long, like Rapunzel long.
Mm-hmm. We have a Rapunzel moment.
Yes, so it's coming up.
Yeah.
And so... So now at this point, also, we should mention that our teacher, Pumpkin Buns, is headed back. She is now on her way again for a third time to the house with no backup. Just totally by herself. And at this point, she's totally worried about the kid, right? She's gotten that creepy call.
All you have to say is call the cops and say, look, this kid just called me. I get First he said, help me. Now, can
Here's
you
the
go
thing.
over with me?
Yep, can you come over
you
with me and
just
check
come
on
over
this
with
kid?
me?
I think he's in trouble. I'm a teacher and I have reason to believe. I mean, they did do a quick scene with this Jay Rincon actor principal where he says the whole thing about you're not supposed to go over there and are there any visible bruises? Did he say this? And
Yeah, but at this point, yeah.
But and that's kind of trying to explain why she didn't follow through on some of this stuff, or why she didn't bring a cop, or was still kind of questioning because the principal is saying, oh, you don't have any proof, maybe, but still, yeah, at this point, I would be, this is the third time you're going over and you're not going to bring somebody with you? The dude had a hammer last time.
The only thing that I can say why she went back, like, we did have that scene where, with the phone call when she goes, wait, what did you say? And he's saying, I need help or help me or something. She might not, like, we don't know if she actually heard him. Okay, so the teacher's coming back by herself, and she walks into the house. Now, fine, she goes back without any backup. She doesn't have any evidence. What's the first thing she sees on the floor?
Blood?
Blood, lots of blood.
Well, the crutches, the kids, the Busey kids' crutches,
Yes.
and all the blood.
And she keeps going
and she just walks
in.
right past it. She just walks right the fuck past it.
And we see her holding her cell phone, and I'm going, call 911.
Call
911.
dial, you stupid.
I have never seen
slowest
somebody
911.
like, and she's like, oh my God. I'm like,
Boop.
it's three numbers. And can't you just hold 9 on these phones now and it'll just call? Like, isn't that like a cell phone feature or something?
So what distracted her? I forget what fucking called her. Did the creature distract her?
No, the black. She saw the black throw up.
Oh, the black. Yeah, then she goes into the kitchen. Oh my.
And then
she sees the hair trail around the corner. And she's like, what is that?
This is where I was like, okay, this would not happen. Like, nobody in their right mind walking in, seeing blood, already scared, would go, I'm going to back out.
And dude already had, you were already in this place, and
dude
had a hammer in his hand and was very creepy and all that. Now all this shit is fucking happening.
And guess what happens? Oh, she gets hit and her phone gets knocked out of her hand.
Yeah,
because she took
she's
20
following
minutes.
around this way. The creature goes around the corner and comes up and slices her leg. And, oh, I'm going to drop my phone.
This is those moments in horror films I'm like, no. Like, I like them in stupid slashers, but this, I was like, come on.
Yeah.
It would have been, I thought it would have been better. Yeah, but it kind of would have been better to even have the cops, like, coming and some big scene at the end.
Yeah, but then that's more budget. Then you have to have cops and guns and
you just have to have the
stunts
noises
and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I think when these things happen, the director and the writers are like, okay, we need to do this. We need her to be trapped alone and to lose her phone. Because she's going to call 911, but we have to interrupt that. So how do we make that happen?
It just could happen.
She sees the hair and the run around and the swipe and the drop the phone. Yeah, I love it. Let's go with that. And they pat each other on the back. And then they go.
I mean, it would have been more believable if she walked in, saw the blood, turned real quickly to run out, and that's when.
And the creature was at the door, shuts the door, and is like, now you can't leave.
Because that is
Pumpkin buns, pow.
That would have been just quicker, better. She didn't need to see. Then she could have been dragged and then saw people dead.
Yeah.
I'm not even a writer, and I feel like I wrote that better. So.
Yeah, that was a much better, a much more plausible scenario than her just walking in and going, 9.
She literally was
going. What's that hair over there? I should follow it.
I swear that's what. It was one of those like fake times where you're like, I know if you're not watching, it's like you're like.
The fake phone dial.
You're like, what? Wait, what? Oh, and can we call out that she had the same zip code area code?
Oh yeah, that's right, dude.
610.
Her area code was 610. I'm trying to figure out where this movie was supposed to be taking place because 610 is our area code. That's our fucking. I'm like, wait a minute. They live near us. This creepy bitch is near us. What the fuck? Pumpkin Buns is around here. I need your number, Pumpkin Buns. Fuck.
Call him. It was like a 610-148. Like,
Oh, yeah, it was totally
like
picked up at one point.
But we were like, you were like, is that 610? I was like, I think it might have been. Yeah. Delco, baby.
Delco
right.
represents.
I like that.
So, yes.
But yeah, and then we go, okay, now she's trapped in the base, what? The creepy thing doesn't really take her out, and then she ends up going down the basement. Doesn't she go down the basement by herself? Oh no, she gets the hammer and she starts. Oh no, she gets the. I forgot. He's actually trapped in the room upstairs.
Yeah, she locks the boy.
And she goes through the door. She's not. They're not down the basement.
Peter's locked in behind the wall now. So the creature is now locked Peter behind the wall, and that was the whole thing too. With the creature wanted revenge. That was a little before you're going to pick up with the ending, but I'm going to do this real quick because the creature, the whole ploy was to trick Peter into killing his parents so that he would be a murderer, just like the sister was a murderer for killing the kid, the girl, and then Peter was the sister was gonna teach Peter, because Peter was like the favorite. Was when Peter came along, the sister got put in the wall, so she resented him, and there's that whole sibling rivalry thing. And so now this was her. She was putting him in the wall. That's why she put him in the pit in the one place. Oh no, we're still in the pit. That's right.
No, that's at the end.
Oh, yeah. Peter's in the wall. Yeah,
this is
right.
when
You're right. Peter's in the wall, and then what's her name had just come in. Yes.
Yeah.
Peter's in the wall now. So yeah, she puts Peter in the wall because now it's his turn to be in the wall, and she's going to be that
point where we don't, where we see the creature's face. That's actually after this scene.
Yeah. Very
because
much so.
so now Pumpkin Buns or whatever her name is, I shouldn't call her that.
Cleopatra Coleman, Miss Divine.
Miss Divine. She
was divine. Her pumpkin buns were divine.
She goes running towards the door, and she hears Peter going, "Get out! Get out!" And I'm like,
"Run!
Get out
run.
and call the cops! You're at the door. You're at the door. Leave." Nope. You got to get like
She's going back for Peter.
A fireplace poker, because that's what she gets, and she goes upstairs.
She grabs the fire. Yeah, and I thought it weird that like the creature just slashes her leg, knocks the fire away, and just
where we
leaves her
had these brutal kills before.
Yeah, just kind of leaves her there.
That's why.
So that she can go get a fucking
multiple
poker.
times.
Go get a poker and then run upstairs. And yeah, she goes upstairs for Peter now and finds the hole in the wall.
And she's in his room, and he's like, "I'm in here." And then
the creature.
We see a point of view of some from the creature's point of view.
Well, the creature is going to the door now and
keys.
keys and lets itself back in, and it's going after Peter.
Now
it's coming.
It's literally it's a bedroom. And in a hallway through the walls. Let's say there's another room that she had to go through. This thing is fast.
Yeah, and it's crawling like.
By the time he says, "Hurry!" she gets this poker, somehow breaks down.
She smashes through a wall.
The drywall.
She put her pumpkin buns behind it.
It's
she
the most
really
ridiculous.
put her buns into it and was like.
It wasn't just like a small hole where she pulled him
This thing
through.
was like 4 feet so that he could easily walk.
I mean, he walked, like all three of them could have walked through together. It was the biggest, it was like an entire sheet. And I'm like, what?
It's a giant gaping 5-foot hole, like tall enough, and Peter like steps right through.
Yeah.
I'm like, and he sat there and waited for her, like.
This creepy thing that just literally devoured people in front of us and was so quick, and we see it running through the hall, like. You would have thought that it was on a marathon, like to get to Peter.
That was some long wall ways.
And I don't think it was
behind the wall.
Yeah, I don't think it was that long. So this whole thing, I was like,
I mean, it was cool.
But then still at the end, I still was like, get out of that big hole. Walk out of that big hole.
Yeah, so they get out. She gets Peter out through the hole, and then they go downstairs, and the door is locked. The front door is locked.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get out. I think she tried to get out when he was telling her to run, and the door was locked. I think that was part of it, too. That's why she went back for the poker, because the door's locked at this point. And they had to get the key.
We don't really see her. We see her just yelling back up to Peter. I don't know. I don't remember seeing her actually try to open the door. She goes for the door, but then she stops when she hears him.
Okay, I thought she might have tried it. But at any rate, at this point, the door's locked, and they have to go get the keys to get out. And the keys are on the mom's body, right?
No. He took them a while ago to get the sister.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right. So the sister has the keys now. That's right.
Yeah, the sister has the keys.
So how did they get to the basement?
I don't remember. I think they get knocked out or something, and now they're down the basement. I don't know. Let's just say he's in the pit. Somehow I think they get separated.
Yeah, that's right. This is when he's in the pit now. And the creature's coming down to him, I guess, and
she's not there. She's not in the basement.
No, but she comes in, and that's what distracts the creature and makes the creature go back up to confront her. And Peter uses the hair as like Rapunzel style and climbs his way up.
But even in that moment, when the creature, before he starts climbing up the hair to kind of like pulls her back, she's like talking to this teacher. I'm like, you just killed everyone with like a snap of your fingers. Why are you giving this girl so many chances? Oh, she comes down like an idiot. If you touch him, I'll kill you.
God,
she actually says that, and I'm like, what? Please kill her. Just please kill her. Why are you
that's when the thing comes back up, and they're like, But then, Peter climbs up, which, I don't know, this kid is like the dweebiest little dork, and I can't see him being able to climb the rope in gym class that high, so him being able to climb Rapunzel style, hand over hand, while scaling the fucking 15-foot thing like Batman on the old TV show.
He could. Let's just say he could.
For the sake of argument, he could.
He couldn't. He was pulling.
Well, then we get up to the top, and he's just like, like the creature is gonna kill the fucking teacher, right? It's getting the jump of the teacher. But then Peter grabs its hair, and he's just yanking this bitch around by her fucking hair, and
like keeps pulling. Yeah,
dragging her in and holding her back, and then the teacher gets the thing and is whacking her, and they're both like beating her, and they fucking eventually knock her into the. I'm just like, this kid all of a sudden has like Hercules strength. This motherfucker is a little Hercules. He's just, it was like a tug of war, and he was just dragging this bitch in. I'm like, what the fuck happened? This chick, this spider bitch took out all these bullies, and now she's getting dragged by her hair by a fucking 8-year-old boy.
So they push her down, close it really fast, lock it, and now her arms are above, and she's like, oh, please let me out.
Switches back to the little girl voice.
Yeah. And so they're going to leave. And this was a part, like, if all that didn't infuriate me enough, this last part I thought was so idiotic. You have her saying, I'll always be here, even if I'm down here. I can't be trapped down here forever. If you go to sleep upstairs, I will find you. If you do this, I will. Like, I was like, do you think that this kid is just going to be able to live in this house by himself?
Time to move. Yeah.
Before, like, somebody's going to come at some point and realize that everyone's murdered.
Oh, no. The teacher's going to take him into CYS or whatever.
But that's what I mean. But they acted like they showed all these clips of him staying up there, and I was like, burn her. Like
do something.
Burn the whole house down if you have to, but burn her. Mm-hmm. And then the movie kind of ended. Yeah.
We get like, is this a dream sequence? Don't she pop up at the end again or something?
No, it was just it wasn't like a character. It was just like her saying that she'll always be there, and him showing like that he's like sleeping in bed, and she's going to be there, and then something else, and she's going to be there, and
the ending. I was like, what the fuck?
We kind of turn around, and he just like looks up, like. But I was like, yeah, but that would never happen because there's no way anyone's going to let you stay in that house.
Yeah. The adults. There's need to be some adult supervision here somewhere.
Is there no adults? I don't know. I don't know.
That means she would have gone. It all was just like metaphorical at the end, or dream sequence or something at the end, where it was just like.
I guess.
Mind fuck.
Wouldn't you burn that?
I would. Or at least you gotta call somebody to come fucking take it away. Fucking government or some shit. Do experiments, find out why the fuck you got a spider bitch from a fucking human.
Come on, we know enough of these movies. You pour some gasoline down there and you light it.
Burn it with fire.
Light it up. It's literally like every other movie.
Well, that's our finale. That's our ending there. They just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Trapped in the basement. It was a really, weird way to end the movie. But
I have so many questions.
Yeah, they just left so many questions now.
Like, why did the parents, keep this...
Well, that's the other thing, too.
Why wouldn't they tell him?
Well, and why is it just now, the thing's been in the wall for years? Has this knocking been going on for years, and only now it's talking to him? She had to wait.
No, she said she worked her way through the walls
so now
to finally get to him.
Okay.
She did say that at some point.
Okay, so that's when she had just gotten through all the walls, clawing her way and gnawing her way through.
Yes.
Like a feral spider bitch.
Yeah, Spidey bitch. You were going, go, Peter Parker, get
oh, God,
Spidey
when he's climbing up the fucking thing, I was like, because it's Peter. I was like, oh, Peter Parker, there you go, Spider-Man, go.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's my rant.
I feel...
The fucking 8-year-old strength of Peter to fucking climb out of the 15-foot pit by this bitch's hair and then fucking chuck her around by her hair when adults were just dying left and right and getting splattered, and this motherfucker is like, I gotcha! Oh, man, come on.
My rant is on pumpkin buns going, are you kidding me right now? First off, who walks over blood?
Just walk right past the blood crutches.
No, and she saw it too.
Oh, I know.
And you still kept going. And then you get your phone. Oh my God, I've never seen somebody hit their phone slower.
911 slower.
And stop after hitting. It's like 911. What's that? I was like...
Right? Bitch, hit the last one at least, so that at least connects. Right? And that way, if something happens to you, at least 911's connected, they can trace the call and get there.
Oh, that was infuriating. That was infuriating. The second you see blood and crutches on the ground and that amount of blood, you call 911. I don't care.
Yeah, that's what I would think. All right, any trivia for this one?
No, there wasn't anything. Much. Yeah, it was just that one about the Telltale Heart.
Yeah, I mean, some of the reviews talk about how it's similar to Barbarian, and I definitely get Barbarian vibes from this one. Did you see Barbarian?
I never watched it.
Oh my God!
I know.
You've got to watch Barbarian.
I keep hearing how much.
It's very similar.
Love to hate it.
And the first half is kind of slow, and it sets you up with the bait and switch. You think this one thing is going down, and then when the fucking twist comes, you're like, oh my fucking God, are you serious? That's what's going on? And it's very similar in that kind of leads you down this one way and then totally flips everything on you.
Is it the same people? What?
Barbarian, I think, was A24.
Oh, wait, what? Why did I... Maybe that's what I saw. Something was similar.
Malevolent was the one with the girl with the face on the back of her head, and that was that twist. So, yeah, I could see that. And The Shining is another one that they compare it to. And again, with the house and the chasing and the creature and the boy and not knowing if it's real or not. So, I definitely see those vibes. Yeah, I mean, it was a good... overall, I enjoyed it. It was a decent movie.
I had fun watching it.
Just like with most movies, nothing's perfect, and there's plenty of flaws and script issues to be had, because sometimes you got to make these things work, because like a normal person would call the cops. If you call the cops here and the cops are there with you, then you got guns, and you have to get a whole nother... it could go a whole different way. And they wanted to keep this, I'm guessing, kind of small and family and tight-knit.
But,
so sometimes you have to write in some dumb decisions.
It could have happened quicker, though.
I agree.
You turn to run out the door and boom, done.
There's ways that you could have done things smarter, I feel like.
Yeah.
and still left the cops out and left it getting into a bigger production situation.
I wouldn't have been as angry.
No, for sure. I was just a little angry at the end. I was like, what the fuck?
And then it ended. And I was
like, they didn't do anything with her. She's just in the hole, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen now.
But and the thing is, the things that she was saying, even if she was like, oh, even if you leave, I'll always be with you. Like, even if she said something like that, but she was like, when you're sleeping upstairs, I'm like, this kid can't just sleep in this house. There's a million murdered people in here. Like, what do you mean? He can't just sleep here. He can't just eat. Like, no.
Yep.
You gotta burn down that house, man.
Burn it with fire. That's what I like to do to spiders. No, I don't do that to spiders.
Don't listen to him. What did you ask in your, on your...
Oh, yeah,
people didn't really answer.
Yeah, well, I saw a couple people if they were arachnophobes or arachnophiles, and we had, I remember, who was it? Sin said she didn't like spiders, right?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Sin was a phobe, I believe.
I'm neutral.
And, that's the wrong fucking page. And, who else?
Here, I'm probably going to be quicker to...
Yep, you're probably quicker.
I don't think it matters. Just, let's keep talking. We're good. I don't know. How are you with spiders?
I don't like them.
I know. I know you don't.
I don't like them. I thought this was going to be more like arachnophobia-ish. I didn't really foresee... Again, I didn't watch the trailer, so I didn't foresee Spider-Girl.
I didn't see that. That is not even in the trailer whatsoever. When we were in the theater, I said, I know. I got the impression it's just a web of lies. I could tell there was something with the parents, but in the trailer, and the knocking on the wall, but I was like, what the hell is going on? I didn't see that coming, but...
It was a good twist. It was a good... it also kind of reminded me of... if you've watched VHS, the VHS series, there is a short, I forget what the title of it is. It's probably my favorite short in all of the VHS series. I think it's in 2, where these guys... it's like 3 guys and they think they're going to a party, but they get the wrong address, and the place that they go into, they go up into the attic, and these guys are like, they have this girl strapped down, and they're like chanting, and they think the impression that these guys get is that this woman is about to be sacrificed to like the devil. Like these guys are up to no good and they're about to kill this girl.
Yeah.
So these guys, these party guys who just happen upon this, save her. They fucking free her. They release her, and they're like, come on, we're going to save you. They get her out. They get her into their car, and they're driving away. And their car dies on the train tracks. And, oh, no, that's right. Once they release her, before they even get her out of there, you see all kinds of fucking shit start happening in the fucking house. Handprints burning on the walls and stuff. They weren't going to sacrifice this girl. She was a demon, and they were trying to exorcise her. And these fucking idiots thought that it was that they were going to sacrifice this girl, so they thought they were saving her, and they were releasing the demon, and all these kids wind up getting killed.
That's a good little,
it's a really good twist, and it was a good. It was executed really well too, especially with like the handprints burning on the wall as the guys are running to get out of the house once they realize, oh shit, we fucked up.
But yeah, I forget. Yeah, I don't know if I saw
it was a really good one, and that definitely had that kind of twist feel to it as I was watching this. Once that twist set in, it definitely made me think of that VHS vignette. So,
laughing at your
my
recent searches.
Yes.
Kitten sneezing a lot. So anyway,
let's wrap this one up. Yeah. Final thoughts, Steph Infection.
I liked it. It kept my, interest. Scares were really good. Definitely creepy. I definitely suggest seeing it. Don't go out of your way to see it, waiting for it to stream, but definitely see it. And I said like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
So some of the scares were really creepy. So I think it's a good take on it's just totally different. And we've kind of had the same crap. I mean, there's still some parent trauma in there in some way, or
for sure. But it's not as like
it's nothing like anything.
It's not like beat you over the head with trauma. This is just like yeah, this kid's gonna be traumatized, but you see why. They don't tell you, like, they don't talk about it. That's the problem with a lot of these movies nowadays. Everybody's talking about the trauma. They're so quick to point out that we're dealing with trauma here. Trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's dealing with trauma. Trauma happens every fucking day. We're all going through trauma. Like, just let us naturally witness it like this. This was a good way to kind of
Oh my God, I didn't see any of that coming. And that's why it's really good. Like, it has you questioning the whole time, and just when you think you're like, oh, I see where this is going, you're like, what? I did not see that coming, and now I didn't see that coming, and I really didn't see that coming. Yeah, so I thought it was good. I thought it was good overall. Definitely worth the watch. How about y'all?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, there's writing issues. There's stuff with the writing that I wasn't real thrilled with. But the scary parts were really scary, and the creature was good. The performance by the stunt person as the fucking creature, that was really good, man. Really creepy stuff. The gore that was in there was good, even though it wasn't always on screen. They were splatting some blood, and there was fucking headless bodies, and that stuff was all really sold well. The acting, though, is what really did it for me. Like, if you don't have Lizzie Kaplan and Anthony Starr selling these parents and selling the fake out through the whole first half of this movie, you don't have a movie. It's so well done with the fake out that has you down this rabbit hole of these parents are evil, that when the twist comes, you're just like, wow, that's so good.
I
yes.
know.
Fuck yes.
You're
so
like, oh my God.
But it's because of their performance.
Those creepy mother effers were actually protecting
We're actually
him?
good. Fuck.
Well, I don't know about good.
Not necessarily good, but yeah, because they
weren't going to kill him, maybe?
Right.
Like we all thought?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's really, what did it for me. The acting was great. I would say, you can wait till streaming to check it out, because you have a bunch of other stuff that's going to come up in the theaters, and it's too expensive to go to movie theaters unless you're seeing something that's really, like, worth it, or unless you have to do a podcast every week on a new horror movie like we do.
Yeah.
So we will go check out whatever horror movie comes out every week if there's a new one, so we can talk about it with y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely watch this when it streams, and be a little forgiving. You'll enjoy it. The fucking creepy factor on it is off the charts in parts, man. It's really fucking good in spots.
Yeah.
And the fake out, yeah. It's very well done. It's very well executed, even if there was some questionable character decisions in there. Yeah. I thought it did a good job. So I'd say, like a 6 out of 10, and definitely give it a watch.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So that's going to do it for us. Once again, make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, shoot us an email.
Next week, we're going to be doing the Haunted Mansion. We kind of know that already.
Haunted Mansion comes out.
Yeah,
Woo!
comes out this weekend. So, yeah, we're going to try and see it. And so if you want to, go see it, tell us what you think. Tell us how it, we have the original, and then we have the Muppets version, and now we have this new one, which looks kind of a lot creepier than those other two.
Yeah, this one looks way more serious.
And it's one of my favorite rides at Disney, so it's a good one. So email us at deadsvillehorrortalk@gmail.com, subject mailbag, and tell us, I don't even care if it's like a funny story about being on the ride at Disney. Like, just tell me something about the Haunted Mansion in any way.
And keep an eye on our Facebook pages. As you see, when we're walking into the theater, we'll usually throw a question out there on our page or something and see who jumps in. Oh, Ben Specht also said he is did he say he was a phobe? I think he said he was an arachnophobe as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ben said he was an arachnophobe as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I know I have some friends that are arachnophiles out there. They have, like, pet spiders. I don't know how y'all do that. But, yeah, this is more about a creepy spider chick than spiders. And I dug it. So.
Yeah.
All right, fiends. Till next time, that's it for us here at Deadsville Horror Talk. We'll talk to you again next week for Haunted Mansion.
Ooh. All right. Bye, Scream Hearts.
Stay spooky.